Alright, hello everybody. Welcome on back to another brand new video. And of course, I wanted to say is Happy Thanksgiving. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome back to another brand new video. And of course, once again, we are back. And of course, I wanted to say is Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And also, my new name now is definitely being changed. That's right. It's going to be changed to right now. So, by any chance right now that my name is Golden Devin-Foxy 2 Remastered again. And welcome on back to usually one of these interesting videos, as I'm just about to be making anyway, is Happy Thanksgiving, and of course, for our specialty, is Black Friday. So, what I wanted to say is for whoever is thankful of Thanksgiving and of course Black Friday, which hopefully anybody can say this question in the comments by any chance by saying is like, what are you guys thankful for in Thanksgiving? Which, by the way, I have to say is for me, well, most likely I'd say I was pretty thankful of pretty much doing content for most likely my lifetime. And of course, I was thankful for is finally doing Fights at Freddy's, which finally gave me a bit of chance to finally play the damn first game, which got me to finally do it again and finally passed it. Which, even though I might head to the next chapter and head to Fights at Freddy's 2, which still, like I said, I have to be aware of every single 15 mark videos, because if it ever does reach 15 minutes every single time, then it just automatically fails. But if it still doesn't, then that's terrific and fantastic. So that's what I always have to be aware about, is being aware of every 15 minutes, so that way it just doesn't get passed every time. But if it does, well, that's a shame. So just wanted to say that for a amount of like an answer for those who probably do or don't know. That's all I wanted to say. So anyway, for those who are still thankful, then that's all I wanted to hear about, and just say hopefully, and I mean most likely, hopefully, to know who's very thankful of this year of, however, even if it was yesterday of Thanksgiving, that's totally natural and that's totally fine. So for those who want to be thankful, then go ahead and say in the comments, and that would totally be sure to help a lot, basically. So yeah, and also for Black Friday, I also wanted to point out this too, by the way, is that, well, it's pretty interesting, it's pretty interesting about Black Friday a bit, which is just like, it depends on, however, it's not going to be pretty cheap or pretty much would be cheap, but for me, in my example, I think I pretty much prefer saying is like, yeah, I prefer like less money, and just saying is like, yeah, it might be a lot more useful in some points, which, nothing to say anything negative to about that anyway, but just still have a bit of interesting ways of interesting value of that. But, just to be very honest and just being very honest with that idea and just being very fair with it. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And yes, I was very thankful to finally do Finance of Freddy's. And yes, it was been a long, long, long time for me to finally play Finance of Freddy's, the first Finance of Freddy's I would pretty much ever been playing on so far. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. And I'll admit that the game is pretty dang good. So, the first game though, I'm like, damn, finally. At least the first game finally gave me something, At least that was being a bit nice and usual for the first game anyway. But like honesty, I have to say is like, wow, I can't believe I just played the very first game of Five Nights at Freddy's, which I know specifically that I was still the second king of Five Nights at Freddy's on my main channel. And of course, I like to call that myself basically that I pretty much would call myself that on my first channel or my fourth channel by any chance. So that's pretty much what I like to still call myself, because, I mean, what there has got to do when there is a second king. So that's all I wanted to say. And like always, want to point out the next thing, by the way. Sorry. So the next thing I wanted to point out too, by the way, is that when am I going to do Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or Mortal Kombat 2? That's going to be a very interesting question, Well, it depends highly about the minutes. That doesn't get over near likely 15 minutes every single time. Which, if it ever does get nearly every 15 minutes every time, then that's going to be a shocker for most of every single time for automatically more shockers. So hopefully it just doesn't reach to any of that, but hopefully if not, we'll see. We'll see if it can pass 15 minutes, but if it still doesn't, then hey, at least I tried pretty much being honorable exactly for being like a bit honor, exactly for likely to know. That's all I wanted to say. So like that being said, hopefully you enjoy your Thanksgiving, and hopefully for what you're very thankful for, and just enjoy Thanksgiving and Black Friday while that's still going around exactly before we pretty much reach to December of Christmas, which, oh man, that's going to be a very interesting idea. Before very much likely the end of Thanksgiving, the end of November, all the way now to December, which, by the way, is going to be pretty much something very lightly, very much likely amazing. So, we'll see, apparently. We'll just see. But anyway, like that still being said, is also, by any chance, I'll let you guys know whatever the next gaming might proceed and might happen. So, for those I want to be mentioning here by the chance right now, is that the next gaming will either be is Final Fantasy Freddy's 2 or Mortal Kombat 2 or MK2. That's pretty much the only games I have pretty much will consider to say that might be remaining to be left. So for those, like I said, we'll pretty much be sure as heck to pretty much likely see what happens. Then we'll pretty much see what happens. So anyway, it is time I'm going to be signing off, and it's time I'm going to be signing out. So, like that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and remember these 4 things you guys got to do is like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way, again, you guys still will not miss a single video that comes straight on this channel. So, anyway, I will say this is thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys absolutely in the next video and then next time. So, like that being said, we'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, by the way, I will be sure to release the next movie of however the next movie happens soon enough that we may or may never know what happens next. It's still going to be red team and blue team working together to take on Sexton Hill and Erasmus, which I'll still be sure to release the date if I ever can, which I think that actually will be the only answer. It might come to round due being this like December maybe or 2026. That highly depends if I release the last one and then it'll be all said and finished, which it might be the very last one left, which is the last third ending by any chance that both teams get both endings, which I think that comes to the third ending that comes to red and blue only. So that's all I wanted to point out, and that's all I wanted to say. And thank you guys so much again for being patient, and very much like we're continuing on to keep watching more stuff. Which beforehand, that we'll see what happens near likely of December or just 2026 in general. So, like that being said, it is time I'm going to sign off and it's time I get going so that way that more kitchen noises don't keep interfering with the recording or anything, which I'm just trying to prevent. The noises don't get like through the noise or something. But you know me, for example, I'm just trying to prevent the noise. But anyway, like that being said, it's time I sign off and it's time I sign out. So, again, for the 4 things you guys got to do right now, and I'll just remind you guys the second time for those who've paid attention, is by the way, is remember these things, is like and comment and subscribe and the bell to be again notified for not missing a single video that still comes right on the channel. So, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and also happy Thanksgiving and happy Black Friday. We'll see you next time, and maybe, and absolutely, in the next video. So thank you, peace out, sign out, and sign right off, and we'll see you, sayonara, in the next video. Bye bye, everyone, and see you next time. Peace. On. Out. Later, and goodbye.